Right, guys, another quick one here, even though I kind of avoided this story, because I expected it to happen, and half of the world and his grandma have already covered it. It is, of course, relating to GB News, which I know a lot of you are looking forward to going live, in the hope it will be better than the BBC and general media that's around now. I myself remain sceptical because of the people involved, the world we live in, and even some of the things that Andrew Neil has come out with himself. Obviously, being sceptical doesn't mean I won't watch it or will look to attack the station like Femi and the Ramoning tosspots like him have done before it even goes live. It just means I sit here hopeful it will live up to its hype, but won't be surprised if it becomes just another mainstream media shithole. Because remember, you don't have to agree with people 100% to like them or support at least some of what they are trying to do. Which hopefully what GB News actually puts out is something we can agree with and not the bile that we hear from the BBC. As we know, purity spirals like that will get you absolutely nowhere, except maybe the crazy echo chambers like the ones that you have trying to shut down speech that they don't like or can't argue against. We have been seeing that here with what has been going on in relation to the smear jobs and cancel culture for GB News that has been rather funny to watch, I must say. They seem to think a channel run by Andrew Neil is going to be filled with hate and all this nonsense, or at least claim to think that way anyway. To be honest, I think they are just afraid of what it could be if it actually lives up to the hype. They know places like Sky News, the BBC and other left-wing cesspools will have even less reach with more choice available, and if GB News actually represents the views of the whole country or most of it as they claim they will, then defunding the BBC could certainly happen faster than we thought. I mean, let's be honest, the BBC are not exactly doing well at the moment, raising the licence fee, and you got Gary Lineker tweeting out bullshit while he gets paid millions to do sweet fuck all. His out-of-touch tweet yesterday shows the BBC is literally on borrowed time, especially with its presenters helping to turn more of the country against them. Of course, I'm not complaining about that, it needs to go, but this shitweasel really needs to wind his neck in, I think you would agree. Not sure if any of you have actually noticed that he's not taking in any more illegal immigrants for the PR stunts these days. It must not be popular anymore with Twitter tosspots, so he's given that up. But back to Andrew Neil, GB News and cancel culture in general. Andrew Neil actually appeared on Good Morning Britain this morning talking to Piers Morgan about cancel culture, the lunacy of snivelling shitweasels who take part in it and all that goodness. Which obviously is going to be good for GB News because it's yet more promotion. But the issue I have here is the fact that pompous prick Piers Morgan happily takes part in the cancel culture that he's trying to call out. I mean, did he not do it the other day to a woman that he knows who refused to participate in government-promoted virtue signalling by clapping for Sir Tom Moore like a demented seal? I forget her name now, but he essentially ended her career because he disagreed with her on this one issue. Now, as you all know, Piers Morgan is one of the country's greatest shitweasels when it comes to cancel culture, so hearing him even getting someone on to talk about it is just laughable in my opinion. But you know what, let's take a quick look at the clip from it. He actually shuts his mouth rather quickly after talking about it, and my god, do they change the subject rather fast. My guess is because he's been called out recently for doing the exact same thing. Here, take a look.
Andrew, your new venture, GB News, is getting a lot of attention.
Yeah.
There's already, I'm sure you were thrilled by this, a campaign to have you killed on arrival because you're going to be an outrageous version of Fox News.
The station, that is, by the way.
What's your reaction to that campaign? Stop funding the hate. I mean, no one's even seen a single second of your output at GB News. And apparently already you're hateful people.
It's slightly bizarre. I suppose it's good publicity in some ways, but it is bizarre to try to ban or boycott a channel that hasn't yet broadcast a second of footage on air. And to be smeared as to be a hateful channel. I mean, I've been broadcasting for almost 40 years on and off. I have never indulged in hate. There will be no hate. I find it rather hateful that they think we would go down the road of hate. People should be free to say what they want and do what they want. That's fine. But there's a particular strand of opinion now among this kind of woke group that says it's not enough that I can say I disagree with you. I need to stop what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, it's cancel culture, isn't it?
But Kevin, Kevin, sorry, Andrew. I was just going to say, because Kevin, your paper covers this on the front page, not GB News, but the extent to which free speech should be allowed and the threats that social media enable against individuals. And you've profiled Mike Dean and Gemma Collins, but it isn't just high-profile people. It's, lots of people are suffering. There is huge debate now about how far free speech should go.
Well, as I said, they didn't speak about it for too long before going on about censoring online speech, which will be dealt with another time. But you do hear Piers Morgan pipe up in that clip talking about it being wrong to shut people down for no reason, when, as we know and I've said already, he is often guilty of doing the same thing. And I sit here now actually in anticipation of the day when Andrew Neil or someone on GB News calls out Piers Morgan's hypocrisy in the future, because you know they will. I am betting you will see Piers Morgan join Femi and Owen Jones trying to shut them down and likely calling them far right or some bullshit like that. As we have all known from day dot, Piers Morgan is a flip-flopping tosspot not worth a wet wank on a Sunday morning. He literally blocked me for calling out his NHS virtue signalling on Twitter the absolute snivelling shitweasel. And you can add to that fact everything he did while working for the papers. It actually begs belief how he is still on TV. If I ever got on Good Morning Britain, I would be asking him about Millie Dowler's voicemails, you better believe it.